If I don't figure out some way to wipe this grin off my face, my cheeks are going to be sore by lunchtime. Back in a tree in Ohio. Couldn't be happier to be here. It's the first day of the rutcation. It's November the 8th. Talked to several different guys at the hotel and gas station, and both of them were leaving today. Both sets of people were leaving today, and they said that they had been here all week and that they just last night they finally saw the first bucks running does. One that saw a big 10 point, the other one that saw a shooter 8 point. Both running a doe hard, and they said that was the first they had seen. So hoping that is going to mean that we're going to see some action this morning. Hard to say.
Despite sitting all day, 2 young bucks were all that were seen. It was nice, however, to know that I had picked the right tree, as both ended up within easy bow range. Ethan's day was similar. After talking with the rest of the group, we decided to make a move. A cold front came in that night, and the next morning, we woke up to rain.
So I'm trying to make this really short. I've got a deer under me about 60 yards. For whatever reason, she's not. It's a little fawn. She's not scared of me. She watched me go up the tree. But yeah, I'm back here in a long ways back on some public land. Yesterday, I went to a spot that I was 99% sure that I would spend my whole trip at, daylight to dark. There was that much sign, and it was that hot before we got up here. And then somebody must have came to hunt, or a group of people that usually hunt that spot earlier this week, because when I went in there, when Ethan and I went in there yesterday, all of a sudden there was a bunch of tracks in the parking area, and there was a bunch of sign of people up there where I'd been. So one of them things where I think the deer made too much. I think there was too much buck sign for its own good. But anyways, so we sat there all day yesterday. Just saw a couple little bucks, but not what everybody else was seeing. Everybody else in the group saw shooters yesterday, and Ethan's cousin actually killed a 160 plus just down the road. So they were moving, and it was quite obvious that they weren't in the area that they were before. So got out and scouted this morning. It's poured rain all day. Found this spot way back in here. I don't really know what it's going to be or anything like that. It's a little pinch point going out to a giant field that's on private. And I know there's a bunch of deer in the area. Aaron saw a bunch of bucks, including 2 shooters yesterday in this area. So there's a big scrape about 8 yards in front of me. It's been worked last night. There was several does bedded under my tree when I got here, and they hopped off, but one of them's already back. So we'll see what happens. Wide open. I'm not crazy about being in the open, but it is what it is.
When you're hunting in the rain, always stay on your toes, because you'll look down and there'll be one standing there. This buck had almost got past me, but after one quick turn of my bleat call, he was headed right at me. As this buck closes into stickbow range, I shift my hand to the string and make just a little noise. But that's all it takes when you're dealing with whitetails.
Flippin' amateur hour up here in Ohio. Yeah. I can't believe I just did that. I caught a buck cruising down below me. And he was going to be about 80 yards away. Well, he was about 80 yards away. Oh, God. I hit that little can call, and he turned on a dime. God, and came straight to me. And he was about 18 yards walking right. I mean, just going to be a slam shot. And I had moved the camera over between me and the tree to get him over there. And when I went to move my focus from my hand to the bow to shoot him, because he was getting ready to be broadside, about 5 more steps and I was going to shoot him. And when I went to switch, my stupid arrow jiggled on my shelf and he caught it. Gosh almighty. So he hopped off and I grunted at him and then snort wheezed, hoping he might. But he ran off. He trotted off. I mean, he wasn't a monster. He was pretty good 8-pointer, good solid 8-pointer. I was gonna shoot him. I was tore up to shoot him, but amateurs, total amateur move. What do? You just keep hunting. God.
It was a long walk out in the rain, Sometimes you just gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Well, we're gonna give the old ridge one more set this morning. Ethan, unfortunately, yesterday evening when we came out, I saw guys while I was sitting there, but when we came out, the guys were already at the parking area when Ethan got out, and it's the same guys from last year that there's like 5 of them, and they've all got crossbows, and the way they hunt is they just walk around in circles and try to be honest, I don't really know what they're doing, but they try to hunt that way, and it really locks them down. That deer they'll move out on them. So gonna give it one more go this morning. They told Ethan they were gonna be back in here this morning. They're gonna be here for the next week. So we're just gonna give it a go and hope for the best. And if if we have issues this morning, then we're gonna go ahead and pull out and go to a different spot. Not trying to deal with that. This year the pressure has been insane. I don't know what the difference is, but there was people everywhere all of a sudden. So it's all right though. I mean, they pay taxes just like I do. They own that land just as much as I do. Just got to work with it, keep going, and as frustrating as it gets, just got to keep trying. We'll see what happens. Well, that's one way to start a morning. I finally got up here and got everything ready. I took my time getting in, making sure I didn't spook nothing. I came up here to where these does were bedded all day yesterday until that hunter bumped them off. And while I was getting ready, I heard a deer running below me. And I don't know if it was running towards a doe that was over there or something, or running away from something, but it was running. It wasn't just cruising. Went through both these ditches, but it was a giant, not probably, that was the biggest deer I think I've ever seen in the wild, no doubt. It was absolutely probably 150 or better, 10-pointer. Monster deer. But he did exactly what you would never think they would do. He ran across both really steep ditches instead of coming around them. So he must have been running. He could be running from something. There's 5 guys that for some reason think it's a really great hunting tactic to walk around with their bows all day. They never sit or anything. They just walk around in circles. So I wonder if it was one of them pushed him, or I don't know. Whatever the case is, he went on over the ridge towards the private. But golly, what a monster. That was a daggum monster. But I'm in here where these does keep coming and bedding, so I've got the same west wind, so it's the leeward side of the hill, so I'm hoping something will come across the top of these ditches and cruise. Yesterday I could have shot 8 different deer if I was sitting in this tree. I didn't see any shooters yesterday, but I saw all kinds of deer, and they all focused right here. So we're gonna sit till about lunch, and then go and maybe try to find somewhere else. Still fun. We're still in Ohio.
That doe and 2 hunters were all I saw that morning. I spent midday scouting and was back in a tree stand early that evening.
Back in the saddle this evening in Ohio. It's the last evening. It's Sunday evening. We're gonna hunt in the morning and then head home, head back to work, back to the real world. It's been tough would be an understatement. That we've seen several big deer. I saw the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life this morning on the run. The pressure this year is just insane. We've hunted this for a couple years and the pressure hasn't been anything like it is now. And I had like to say I had prepared for this, and I had. But I had prepared for it, just not to this extent. They always say to have plan C and D. And even my plan E and F had people at it. So, and I can handle the people hunting, but it's the people, well, they're hunting, but they're walking around in circles with their bow, randomly, or crossbow. That don't make any sense to me, but it's public land, they can do what they want. But yeah, it's definitely been tough. I mean, it's something like a whiner, still fun. But, so I came over here this evening, and there's always those spots where, like, you've got a ton of confidence, and you're, like, so excited, and you can picture how it's going to happen in your head. Yeah, this isn't one of those spots at all. But there was a couple good deer in here this morning. Brad, he actually left at lunchtime. Aaron's dad, he walked out this way, and it's just a little, kind of like an overlooked place. And he said there was 2 good bucks with a doe, and then another buck trailing them. And they said they really weren't spooked when he walked by, so maybe they're still around. Ethan's got 2 130s running a doe around him right now. He hasn't got a shot. Maybe that will change shortly. But we'll sit tight and see what happens. Hopefully the luck will change just a little bit, either tonight or in the morning. We take something home. Standards have definitely dropped from what they were on day 1, so hopefully something will come on out this ridge here in a little bit. I cannot believe that just happened. I really hope that was on film, but it is what it is. I'm sitting here, my buddy's up the ridge, he texts me, Aaron texts me, and he's like, 8-pointer just walked under me, it's just a little bit too small to shoot. I'm like, hey, I ain't prideful. If I can get him to come over here, I'm gonna shoot him. So I hit my bleat call and then hit my grunt call. Waited just a minute, and I thought I heard something walking, and looked back down the hill because I heard something down there, and I looked back and there's a rat coming over the hill, and I was like, oh crap. So the deer comes up, and I thought he was gonna go down by me, and he turned on a dime and walked right under the tree. So there's not a lot of pre-roll because he comes directly over the hill, but then he walks right under me. I shoot him at 6 steps, maybe. He looks right up at me when I stopped him. Think I got it on film, I'm not really sure. We're gonna see. Either way, he's down. He made it 100 yards down the hill right towards the truck and crashed like crazy after just a minute. So I'm gonna get down. He's public land, Ohio. Hard to beat, baby. Hard to beat. Yeah. And Aaron has got deer all around him right now, so maybe we can double tonight. Yes. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Dang, man. Boy, it feels good to put my hands on this deer. It's been a tough week hunt here in Ohio, hunting the public ground. Came up here 4 or 5 times this year, scouting, starting in the spring and all the way up to a couple weeks ago, getting ready for this week. And every time you hunt public land, you better plan to have 4, 5, 6 different options, because pressure is going to depend. You're going to be different spots, and this week absolutely that's what was going on. The pressure was horrible. Way more people than the last couple of years. I was very disappointed, and to be honest, I really need to apologize to Ethan and Aaron. I was kind of a jerk yesterday. I was getting aggravated. All of our spots, A, B, C, had deer at them, or people at them. E, F, G, all those plans had people at them. So this was kind of a last second thing. Aaron's dad, Brad, they headed out this morning. He said, hey, I saw some deer on this ridge, couple bucks. Y'all should probably try it. We thought, heck, why not? So we ran up a tree this evening, and I didn't have any confidence. I was 10 minutes from the truck, which is somewhere I normally wouldn't even dream of hunting. And he, 4 o'clock, not early. I hit my bleak call and my grunt call, South Creek grunt call, and gave it just a minute, and sure enough, here a deer come over the hill, and it was this guy, and he turned and walked right to me, right under my tree, and I had to stop him, as you can see on the thing, and he looked up at me, but it was already too late. I was already letting go of the string, and it blew through him right behind the shoulder, and that's a 42-pound Omega native that my buddy Jeff let me borrow, and buried it right through him, and he went down about 30 yards and I stood still, and I'm like, he's gonna go down right there. His butt got real heavy, and he started going back and forth, and he took off again, and he made it to about 80 yards from the tree, and I heard him just a big old crash, breaking trees and everything else. And I thought, well, I think we got him there. So I gave just a minute, made some phone calls, and I went ahead and got down so I could get the recovery. And the arrow had some gut material on it, which worried me a whole lot, but the blood was insane. Spray in the blood, bubbles all in it. And he didn't make it. I should have seen him go down from the tree. He didn't make it 75, 80 yards. He was piled up, so could not be happier with this deer. Saw a lot of big deer this year. I saw a lot of people this year. That was the main thing. But I saw a lot of big deer this year, and to get out here and do this, it's a lot of fun. To get out here and chase these deer on public land, I tell you, that public land just adds a different challenge to it, and something I thoroughly enjoy. We've had a great time out here. We really have memories that'll last a lifetime and that we'll never forget. So definitely blessed and thankful to be able to do this. Thankful for this buck. This is going to be a lot of good meat, and he's going to look real good riding on that ridge line back to North Carolina.
Taking an animal is great, but clips like this next one show why we do what we do.
This land is your land, and this land is mine.
Shout out to our good sponsor, Lewis Stonework. Here for all your rock needs. Hell, Lewis, he's hard as a rock.
This land was made for you and me.
I hate that.
As I went a-walking that ribbon of highway, and I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was
If you like what you
made
see,
for
hit that
and
subscribe
me.
button and check us out on Instagram and Facebook at the Stickboys. Serious bow hunter, check out the Professional Bow Hunter Society for nationwide learning and hunting opportunities.